Right, welcome back. We're on episode 16 now, right? Of the Homegrown Music
Say so.
Podcast. Yeah, I believe we are. I'm not 100% on
I don't
that.
know.
It is 16, isn't it? We recorded 15 last week.
Maybe. Who knows? Like the last 6 weeks have just sort of amalgamated into one. So it's I
Honestly,
don't know where we are.
the main thing is we're here. It's the next episode. Welcome
Yes,
back.
from the last one.
Yeah. How are you today, Jack? How are you feeling?
I'm all right. I was tracking bass before we started. That's why I was a little late to the meeting.
Mhm.
Was because I listened back on all our demos the other night, and I went, that I was basically nitpicking everything, and I was like, that could be done better. That's slightly out of time by a bit, but
Sure.
just get it all proper. And so I was tracking bass before we started, and that's how my day has been all day.
Oh, we were saying
I lost.
Sorry, go ahead. I
was just about to say, it took me 20 takes because for some reason I've lost my ability to play anything. I was like, how did it go?
I know the feeling. Yeah, we were saying before, nice shirt. I feel like we're very coordinated today. I'm wearing a reddy pink, and you're wearing a reddy kind of top. So we're
it's kind
of matching.
I wear this. I've worn this at a couple of gigs that we've done, but this exact outfit. But I like it, so I'm wearing it. That's my excuse.
It's a good vibe. So listen, man. I heard you. Well, you told me just before we started that you're thinking of recruiting a new member for your band. Do you want to elaborate on that, or we can talk a little bit about that?
Well, as of current of recording this, and pretty much for the past 2 years, we've been a two-piece band, guitar and vocals and bass, keyboards, and whatever I do, guitars as well. And it's all good for what we do. Normally, you've seen us play live. We usually are a lot of our stuff's quite acoustic, so it works. But yeah, I've been on the lookout for guitarists, additional guitarists to add in a drummer for a while. And yeah, that's pretty much been our last 2 years, because it seems all drummers are already in bands, like yourself.
Yeah.
And
True.
I remember when we first met you, I was like, Oscar's pretty decent drummer. We could add Oscar in. And then I realised you were in a band. I was like, okay, never mind.
Well, I don't know, though, because there's so many drummers out there who do multiple projects. If you think about, Dave Grohl he drummed on an entire album for the, Queens of the Stone Age. So, he was doing his own stuff, and he's, so, I mean, if you ever wanted
if we ever need someone, yeah. But yeah, I mean, we've been looking for members for a while, and yeah, we might have a couple of people in mind, but we need to see obviously how it goes.
Yeah, you don't want to
overall
go into too much detail, because
but this is, we were saying this before we started. You've got to. We had a third member at one point, and I won't say their name because I don't want to be rude. But they were with us for a couple of months, about 2-3 months, on the back end of 2019, and it just didn't work out. And I think that's kind of a case for a lot of people. Is they'll have people in mind to join, they'll play for a bit, and it just kind of doesn't work out right.
I guess as well, because you've been doing this band with just you and Lloyd for so long. You're obviously really good mates. You know each other really well. It must be kind of weird introducing a third party into that dynamic.
Yeah, and that's kind of why I think the third member we had before didn't work out too well, was because neither of us, Lloyd and I, are quite close, and neither of us were particularly close with this other person. We were mates with him, and we'd known them for a bit, but it wasn't the same like friendship as Lloyd and I would have also. So yeah, it is kind of weird bringing in other people, but I think it's all about how well people fit, and
I think it's such a integral part of bands. It's like of the band, like I don't know, lifespan, is that quite often you will see in a lot of these big bands, lineup changes where they'll replace a drummer, or they'll replace. I mean, some of the big ones, thinking just off the top of my head, Slipknot, they replaced Joey Jordison with Jay Weinberg. Who else? Well, didn't Metallica have to change some members because I think they lost? I think so. One of their members sadly died. Yeah.
Yeah.
And I'm just thinking, Iron Maiden famously had a new singer. AC/DC had a new singer. So it's quite a commonplace thing that bands have to deal with, is changing that dynamic by taking away or putting in new members.
Yeah, and the one that immediately jumps to mind for me is The Cure, which is essentially the Robert Smith show featuring everyone else around him. It's because it's like the original members from the 70s. I think one of them is still in the band, but he left for a while.
Wow.
In like the mid 80s or whatever. And Dire Straits is was pretty much the same as well, where it's like only 2 of the original 4 members were in the final band by the early 90s, because David Knopfler, the other guitarist, dropped out, then their drummer dropped out, and then they added in keyboard player who dropped out. But it's like, you've got a lot of these bands that do change up lineups. So yeah, I think it's keeping the core of the group.
Keeping that core central unit alive. Yeah. I guess there's some bands where it's like you think of the core as the singer, but then if they replace the singer, it can divide so many fans. Like thinking of Iron Maiden, for example, when they replaced their singer, it was like, what? It's going to divide a lot of fans.
Yeah, and I think looking at a core of the group, you've got to think. I guess it's a stupid way of looking at it, but which is the most iconic member of the group? Who's the one who everyone sticks with? And as you say, usually that is the lead singer. But in terms of AC/DC, I mean, that's the guitarist. That's Angus Young. That's not Brian Johnson, particularly, who's the current lead singer. And I guess I don't quite know why that is. I guess also Queen as well, to an extent.
Because
core now
the musicianship is so extraordinary that people latch onto that. If you've got a really good guitarist, they're kind of almost on par with the lead singer. People, if you've got like a really generic pop band and the standout is the singer, well, then you're going to see the singer, aren't you? It's like, you don't go to see if you wanted to go watch Maroon 5 and it wasn't Adam Levine singing, you wouldn't enjoy it if that was your thing. I mean, I wouldn't enjoy it anyway. But it's like you get that kind of level.
Yeah, I think that's kind of why you see bands like The Cure last so long, from that sort of late 70s to now, is Robert Smith is The Cure. He is the lead singer and the guitarist and everything, and he writes most of the work. So he is the standout member, and therefore The Cure can keep going as long as he keeps going.
Yeah.
It's to the point that no one particularly knows the other members' names. I can't think of anyone off the top of my head.
There was something the other day I heard. It was like being a member of Coldplay that isn't Chris Martin. Is his name Chris Martin?
Yes.
Is his name? Yeah, being a member of Coldplay that isn't Chris Martin must be the best job in the world, because you get to play live, you get to do what you love, you make loads of money, and no one recognizes you in the street and pesters you for autographs because no one knows who they look like. Well, they do, but like if you're
could not tell you.
I couldn't pick one out of a lineup and say, yeah, he drums in Coldplay. Like, no.
Well, because it's like, they're not the not the Cure, the core of the band. I did just hear Coldplay in my head as you said that. I heard that piano riff from Clocks.
Oh yeah,
where's that coming from?
Oh, flashbacks, man. It's a shame that the core member isn't the drummer. I think I've got a bit of a what's the word, like a chip in my shoulder about that as a drummer myself, because it's like you're always in the background, you know.
Yeah, there's very
not
few,
the core member.
I think it is. There's very few bands I can say that the drummer is the standout or the iconic member. I mean, obviously the Beatles, but that's because his name's funny.
Yeah. True.
The Eagles is one of the few bands I can say that the drummer is the lead singer and is sort of the big person of the group. But yeah,
21 Pilots is the one that comes to mind from contemporary music, because
I'm
Josh Dunn
really old, but
is iconic, like, because it's a duo. There's only two of them really, you know, to focus on.
Yeah, and that's the thing with two people is you and smaller groups like you're in three-piece. It's easier actually to latch on to smaller groups than it is to like
I think
four or five-piece,
because it's like you get to develop your own sort of musical personality within the group. You know, I'm thinking like Green Day. It is a solid trio. You know, it's like everyone loves Mike Dirnt, everyone loves Billy Joe, and everyone loves Trey Cool equally because they are so well. Most people, Some people are just like, oh, I love Billy Joe Armstrong, and don't care about any other members. But I think most Green Day fans think about Green Day as that kind of three equal members, you know. And I mean, I might be a bit biased.
Comes to mind.
Yeah, such an incredible bassist, and you can hear him every time live because his bass lines are integral. You know, they're not just like, oh, we need a bass line, so throw in a bass line. It's like you could listen to just him playing bass and you'd be like, yeah, that's a Green Day song, you know.
The thing is with his bass lines, I've learned a couple of them, and I've seen him play a lot of his stuff. Like, technically, his bass lines, a lot of them aren't that complicated. They're not big, flashy things that you would expect in a three-piece where you're kind of like, you know, we all kind of need to fill a bit more space musically. His lines are quite simple.
Yeah.
But it's the way he plays them. It's a really good bass player.
He's probably one of my favorite bass players. Man. Yeah. Man, honestly, that early stuff is so sick. Like, I just love that Dookie album. Like, could listen to that all day.
Not the Trey Cool song on it, but I forget the name.
No, yeah, that's so weird.
But the rest of the album's decent.
Yeah, it's like it's so funny that when drummers write songs, they're like infamously weird. You know, like I'm in love with my car. You know.
Yeah.
Why is it such a stereotype that when drummers write the songs, they're kind of a little bit weird?
You have to write the weirdest drummer song.
I'll do it.
Right.
I'll do it.
I don't like biscuits or pencil or something. I don't know.
Yeah.
Sort of pencil, I think. But yeah, it is kind of hard for a famous drummer, I guess. You've got cases of like session musicians who are particularly famous, like the R&B lot, and sort of that rhythm blues stuff of the 60s and soul music. You've got a couple of those guys, and the same with bass players. Actually, James Jamerson, for example, is particularly famous, even though he was never a leader of a band or anything. But in terms of like band stuff, you don't often see drummers stand out.
I mean, I was thinking about one of my favorite bands, you know, My Chem, and because we were talking about when you know musicians get replaced or whatever, you know, if you've replaced Ray Toro or Frank Iero, you know, or even if you replaced Mikey, you know, everyone would have been losing their marbles over it. They'd have been so upset. But Bob Breyer, incredible drummer, and even the drummer before that, I can't remember his name, but the guy who drummed on the first album, you know, it's like there was almost no mention of him, but he had some of like the sickest drums out there. Like on that album. It is an incredible album. Like it's quite a raw album, that first one, and you can tell where there's timing errors and stuff, but they were very new. It was like 2002, so or 2001, and like the drummers just kind of seem to come and go without much kind of uproar.
Who cares?
Yeah, exactly.
It's kind of I get it, because it's like, they're such an integral part of the band. I mean, and I guess it really is down to whether the drummer sings, at least to me, because I think singing drummers seem to get more praise than just other drummers.
Yeah,
like,
for sure.
As I say, like Henley and Ringo are both sing. I mean, Henley more than Ringo, but they both sing, so they stand out a bit more. Or like backing vocalists like Roger Taylor and Queen.
Yes.
Like he stands out because he has sung on stuff. Whereas if you, as you say, take a member of the group who didn't sing, or it was just the back in the background on the drums, I mean,
even if they did like some of the coolest fills, like I'm thinking about that first Mike M album, that has some of the best drumming on it. Like I've heard, like in the song "Headfirst for Halos," the whole intro to that song is just insane fills, and but tasteful fills, like really fast, really tasteful, high energy fills with an amazing guitar riff. I'll add, it works well because it's with this guitar riff. I recommend you listen to it after this because it is an amazing song. Headfirst for Halos, check it out. But no one remembers him. No one listens to that song and goes, "Oh yeah, I really love the drums there," or I think the drummer for this band was great, because it's like they're just forgotten about.
No one cares, and it's kind of sad, because it's like they are very important. They just it does go into sort of how we view bands, I think, and who the singer says the words, so therefore they're the best member and stuff. That's. But to non-musicians, I guess, lyrics and vocal is the thing that they can most relate to.
True.
Because anyone can hear a guitar line and go, yeah, that was good. But I think it takes a musician to really go, oh yeah, that's actually like really good, and looking to appreciate it more.
Well,
I don't want to sound snobbish.
No,
sounds quite snobbish.
No, but it's not. It's not, because I think once you start to learn how to play something, you appreciate how hard it is to play it. I before I started learning to drum, when I listen to a song, you're totally right. All I'm picking up on is what I can fathom. So I can fathom a singer singing. I can fathom words. Maybe I can't, really technically proficient singers, I'm like, whoa, I don't know how they're doing that. But you can still make out words and lyrics and tune and melody and harmony. That kind of all makes sense to me. But I didn't really know what was going on with the drums until I started to learn how to play. And then now when I listen to a song, I can now pick out individual parts, whereas before I was just listening to a whole finished product, which I think almost there's like a wonder in that, which I've kind of almost lost by learning a bit more about drums.
I tend to agree with you. I think I still have the occasional song I'll listen to and I'm still blown away by it. And I don't like I re-listened to Whatever and Ever Amen by Ben Folds 5, which is a very good drama, by the way, while we're on that. And I was listening to it and there's a song on it. There's a song, Battle of Who Could Care Less. And it's a fairly, like, musically, because he's playing in a weird key and stuff, and the bass is doing some funky stuff. I didn't pick out, oh, they're doing that there, or I just listened to it as one whole thing and went, wow. But it is once I then sat down and looked at the chords, I went, oh, okay, so it's doing G to F and so on, and then you start picking it apart. So yeah, I mean, but I do have it where I'll listen to one song and go, right, so the bass was doing this the whole time, and going,
Yeah.
But I don't listen to it as a full thing.
That's the thing. Like, I feel like now whenever I listen to a piece of music, I have to almost like actively listen. Like, if I want to enjoy a song, right, I have to almost, because my brain just automatically goes into drum mode when I'm listening to a song and I'm just only listening to the drums. And it's like kind of almost ruined it a little bit for me now, because I'll be listening to it and I do this thing where I like click my teeth along to the drums. It's like a habit.
I do air drum. I like play the drums in the air.
Yeah, man. I don't know. I think it's like it's a drummer thing. Like on a forum somewhere, I read someone was like, "Does anyone else like click their teeth percussively and hear the sounds inside their own skull?" Yeah, because we do it all the time. We like grind our teeth and like click them, and really bad
That's
for
not
you.
good for you.
It's really bad. Like, someone went to a dentist and their dentist was like, "I can tell that you either do drugs or you're a drummer because you've chewed up your teeth." Like, you know. And so
that's an interesting tell.
yeah, because their teeth were so like kind of worn down. I think they were quite a bit older as well, and years of doing that is gonna basically show. Yeah. And so I don't know, like now it's like, getting back on topic, it's like I have to actively try not to listen to the drums and listen to the whole song like as a unison, or just, you know, focus on the vocals a bit more, you know, enjoy the vocals. I don't know, maybe that's just me.
No, I get it. I as I say, I do it a lot, particularly with, as I say, like bass heavy stuff or anything that has a piano as like the lead instrument.
What were we talking about before Zoom sort of kicked you out there for a minute?
Drummers, drumming, listening, actively listening or not, and then I can't remember exactly where we were just as we were saying that.
It's been so long because you got kicked out for like 5 minutes. Zoom. Why?
Oh well, but yeah, it's listening is hard. Don't listen to music. That's the takeaway.
Don't do it. Just don't.
Just listen to the silence.
So you're thinking of recruiting a drummer, getting back on that. Are they local to you, or is it from back in Hertfordshire?
Local to down south, just because I think originally Lloyd and I said whichever one of us finds a drummer first will be the one who bases the band there, because it's harder to move a drummer than it is to move a bass or a guitar. It's because of lockdown, I haven't been able to meet too many musicians. But yeah, they're local to Lloyd, and hopefully they're good to join us. They're going to listen to the demos on Friday and see if they like them.
Nice.
So tomorrow. I mean, yeah, I would say the thing is with guitar, it's such a hard instrument to pick up. You hear all these stories about like 14-year-olds who are like, I want to play guitar. Kurt Cobain plays guitar, and then they pick it up and learn like Teen Spirit and then give up because
and then they realize that it's a hard instrument. Yeah,
it's incredibly hard. And I originally picked up guitar when I was about 14, not because of Kurt Cobain, but pretty much the same story. I was like, oh yeah, I want to learn guitar, and I don't even think I learned one song. And I was like, I couldn't play. It was also on a really bad guitar. Like one of the worst guitars I've ever played. Which luckily I don't own anymore. So but you know, I had the same thing where I started on a guitar and hated it and gave up for quite a while actually. And then I picked up piano. And then piano, using the knowledge that I knew from piano, I then translated it over to guitar instead.
I don't know about you, but like when you were a kid, did you have like did you just go through like cycles of hobbies that would only last for a few months, and then, because I think that's such a thing that happened when I was a kid. It was like every month I was into something new. Do you know what I mean? So like I got a set of roller skates for Christmas, and then I used to roller skate every day for like a few months, and then I stopped, and then I got into something else, and then it was like, then I got into like a new series of books, and like for my whole life up until a certain age, I was just like one hobby to the next, never really sticking with something. And then I found drums.
My language.
And then everything changed, and it's like you hook onto that one hobby and you stick with it, and it's the only thing that I've stuck with in my life for like longer than a year.
I always found myself going through phases of liking certain things. And I still do it now, but to a lesser extent. I think it's because my brain isn't mush anymore. But like when I was like 6, I'd like be obsessive about like watching Indiana Jones like 5 times a day, or like Star Wars like 10
times. Are we the same person? Like, what is going on?
Then for me, the one thing I latched onto that I actually stuck with for a while was Pokemon, because I came in at a weird point of Pokemon where it was like, oh look, the games are going 3D, everything's new, and so I was like, oh my god, new shit. And then I almost immediately dropped out of that after the new shit was added in, because I was like, oh, okay,
over it now. Yeah, I don't. Yeah, man, it's like, it's weird because you like obsess over something, like for a really short but intense period. Like, I don't know about you, but I mean, I used to play a lot of Lego when I was growing up. Me and my brother both did, and like, it was like. You know how they had different franchises in Lego? You know how they like Lego Star Wars, Lego Indiana Jones, like every single Lego Harry Potter, every single like time there was something like that happening in Lego. I used to be obsessed with Lego, and it's only now that I realized how expensive that stuff was, and and how much.
Do not tell me.
I put my parents through so much like abuse, just being like, please, can I have this Lego? And they're like, no, that's like literally 100 quid. For a piece of plastic.
I have done the exact same thing.
Oh, I feel so bad.
I don't have it anymore. Like you might not have seen it actually when you because we were packed up mostly by the time we did the garden thing. But you walked through my garage and there was this table thing I had that was all the Lego we had. And there's like 4 or 5 boxes of like that big, of like full of it. Like just random bits from like fire stations and police stations
from years of collecting, that
I just sort of things fell apart and got put in the bin. And I had a couple of things still out. The Lego Millennium Falcon, which was a lot of money. That's in the garage now. Had Hogwarts.
My brother had Hogwarts.
It was so cool.
Man.
That's just. I had to put it away, and then I had a lot of like Batman, DC, Lego stuff.
Cool. I never got
mainly
that.
Mainly because the figures look cool. That was pretty much the only thing.
I always wanted the Lego Joker with the green hair, piece.
They're so hard to get.
I know.
I had to buy it off eBay, and even there it was like expensive. Don't buy Lego off eBay, by the way. I've learned the hard way, because some people just like con you, and will sell you counterfeit stuff that is not Lego,
like the Chinese like knockoff Lego blocks. I mean, when I first my mum and dad went to a car boot when I was like literally a toddler, and someone was selling like a big like, we're talking huge like tub filled with like miscellaneous Lego, like not from series, or probably bits were from series, but like all mixed together, all broken apart and mixed. And they got that because they were like, I think they got it for like a tenner or something, like this huge thing full of Lego. And I think they washed it or something because it was all dusty. But that was like my introduction to it, was through just building, not following instructions, but just free building. And that's, I think, the best way to do it, because it like really channels your creativity.
I don't remember when I got into it. I just got into it. I
Just happened. Yeah.
I don't know. I just woke up and I got. Where did it come from? I got bought the fire station. Well, they do like iterations every couple of years of the thing. So I got the iteration of the fire station from like 2002. I got that for my birthday when I was about like 4 or 5, maybe.
Yeah.
Maybe that was it. I don't know.
Nice.
Anyway, sorry.
No. It's cool, man. There's something what was your favorite Lego that you got when you were a kid? Like your like the thing that you were like the most happy with?
I don't know. I was particularly happy with the Millennium Falcon when I got it. I wasn't a kid. I was 14. 15.
It's getting older. It's getting
14,
less
15.
and less. It's getting less and less socially acceptable the more you rank it up.
I was still buying up until like last year, so don't worry about that. But yeah, like for the Millennium Falcon, I was really happy with because it sounds so childish. I did it all myself. Normally with Lego sets, it would take me like a couple of hours, a couple of really long hours to build a whole big thing. Like Hogwarts took me like 6 hours, and it's like not even that complex. So
but it's a big thing.
It's a lot. But the Millennium Falcon I did in about 3 hours, and I was just really proud of that. And then the Pirates of the Caribbean ship, the Black Pearl, I got that. I was a bit younger then, about 12 maybe, and I built that in like 2 hours, which was really quick. And so yeah, they're the bits I was proud of because I built them quickly.
Nice. Oh man, I remember I had the Durmstrang ship, you know, the Harry Potter Durmstrang ship.
Oh yeah, I always wanted that.
Yeah, so cool, man. I was such a cool like build. I took it apart, unfortunately. What I really love is like the really, really old series of Lego that weren't really tied to any film franchises, but were just a Lego franchise, like Lego Vikings.
Yeah.
Like I think we had a Viking longship, and there was like Power Raiders or something that was like miners, like space miners that fought like those glowy rock things. That was sick.
For me, and this is gonna sound really dumb. I'm almost 20. I don't care. Lego Adventurers, which is a series that ended in like 2000. So I was like just off of it.
Was that the guy with the hat?
With the hat, and he basically was Lego Indiana Jones before actual Lego Indiana Jones. Yeah. I always wanted him. That was it. I don't care about the sets. I wanted the figure.
I have the figure.
Oh fuck you!
I'll sell it to you. I don't even care. I'll give it to you, man. I'm sure it's lying around somewhere. You can have it.
I have his head because I got, as you say, like where you get the assortment boxes from someone for like tenner. We got one for like 20 quid, and it was mainly like Lego mechanic stuff, but there was like a couple of random bits. And his head, just
because he's got a mustache.
He's got the mustache and sideburns. Yeah. So I was like, oh, cool. His head's here. The rest of him must be here.
But no. But alas.
I was like,
you found his beheaded corpse.
I didn't find the corpse, just his head.
This is going to be one of those stories where like a family like 100 miles away has got like the body, and their kids always look for the head, and you've always looked for the body of the character.
Join him, but I always really liked that line.
It was a really cool line, man.
It came with maps and stuff. Indiana Jones.
Yeah.
So, and I have like random bits, as I say, when you buy those boxes, you get like random bits from them.
Yeah.
But I never had like a full set. But yeah, I just have the characters whose name escapes me. I've just got his head.
Is it Johnny something? Johnny Thunder or something like that?
Johnny sounds right. I'm gonna look
Johnny sounds like a very Lego name, you know. Me and my brother like we would spend like full hours after school, like just
Johnny Thunder, yeah.
Johnny Thunder, nice. We would spend like full on hours after school, like, and we created this really really like super complicated story where we had like this entire like Lego city like in our like conservatory at home, and it was like, you know, you get those Lego mats where you can build stuff on them. We had like 3 of those laid out, and like on a table, on like a chair that was like a mountain, and we'd put houses on there and stuff, and we had this really like kind of sprawling city, and then we would make a storyline to go along with it, and we had like clone troopers like invade on a Viking warship and like try and like fight the villagers or like the townspeople. It was like, oh, we had such big imaginations. I don't know what happened. Like
me and my sister, when we started buying the Lego Batman stuff, we just started having Batman stories, and then it eventually accumulated. Superman joined in, and then eventually it all built up from that. And that's why I bought loads of counterfeit Lego, was because I was trying to get Batman characters for the Chinese versions.
But the thing I love about Lego is there's no rules. Like, you can stick anything on anything and just make it work. I love how we don't even talk about music on this podcast anymore.
No.
we do, and then we go on a tangent about Lego. I'm not complaining though. I'm not complaining. Like, this has been a great chat. I'm just glad to hear someone had the same kind of obsession as me, you know, growing up.
But yeah, I got obsessed with random bits, and as you say, getting obsessed with music at least stopped me getting as obsessed with other things.
Yeah,
because I used to do it with everything.
Well, I think music, it kind of takes over as this kind of big overarching thing. I don't know if that's but like in my experience, like kind of everything was eclipsed by that. You know, even you know, I would rather go and I would choose to like not hang out with my friends and stuff at lunchtime because the drum room was free, and I would like leave my lesson and I would go straight to the drum room.
Speaking my language,
literally. Like sometimes it was literally a matter of, this is like an obsession, you know, like I don't have any control over this, like I just need to drum right now. And it was like, in a way, it was like the best form of release, like being a teenager and having an instrument you can play whenever you want, really, but you know, whenever you can.
I mean, I did the same thing with the piano rooms, or or the actual music rooms themselves, because they had the better pianos.
It was just an escape, wasn't it?
And particularly during year 11, we got told off a couple of times because I would go in to play the piano by myself because I wanted to, and then usually Tim would come along as well. And you know, me and Tim would sit, we'd be quiet, and we'd, you know, have a chat and stuff. And then slowly more people would just sort of walk in, and so I similar situations, free reign to sort of wander around the music rooms. The other teacher's main problem was the fact there were other people in the room.
Yeah, that's
as
the
I
thing.
was in there.
Yeah.
And I got that, you know, that was
makes sense.
I didn't want them in there, but they found their way in anyway.
Oh, that's the most annoying thing, though, when you're just trying to play and then people come and like talk to you, and you're just like, I just want to be on my own.
I had it once. Someone came in. I was playing. I was just improvising something, just messing around, and a kid walks in and does the thing that like 5-year-olds do, but like this is a teenager. Walks in and like slaps the piano, probably just right down the middle. And I was like, do you have to,
mate? Like, it's the same with me and people slapping the cymbals. Like when I'm trying to play, you'd walk past. I'm
slightly guilty of doing that occasionally.
Yeah, but it's all about the context. Like I was mid playing, like, and this kid just walks up and slaps the cymbal. But man, I used to spend like hours after school as well. Like I would go to the practice room, and the cleaners would have to like knock on the door and kick me out because I just lose track of time. I would just literally sit there for hours, in this tiny little practice room, just shredding for hours and hours and hours. And like, yeah, literally at some point, so we're like, yeah, it's like, it's like 5:30. You need to leave. Like, it's nearly 6 o'clock. We're gonna have to lock this block, and you need to leave. They might have locked me in if they hadn't heard me drumming. But
I did similar stuff, as I say, with me and Tim during sixth form, when me and him had a free day. I don't know if I've told you this before.
Yeah.
We had a free day, work study day, on a Friday together. So we didn't actually study. I mean, Tim would study, but we'd go to the music rooms and we'd be like, Mr. Crosby, can we have the keys so we can go and play the piano? And we'd just sit in there the whole day and write or whatever. And Tim usually has his laptop, so he's actually studying, and I'm sat there like messing about. And yeah, we actually did write a couple of songs. That one of them's actually on my computer right now. We actually wrote some songs that stuck. That most of them did not stick. Most of them were bad. But occasionally there was really good ones come through, and I'm actually looking to release one at some point in the future. So there we go.
So when I hear it, I'll be able to go, well, this was written.
That was written
with Tim and you and Tim in a music room.
Yeah,
that's a pretty cool bit of history behind the song. Yeah.
But yeah, it was what happened was the song called In Another Life. And what happened was, it was right around the time I was starting to play guitar, like sort of exam time of 2019, so like May, June time. And I'd picked up the left-hand guitar from the music room during break and gone into the practice room with Tim. And then for third or fourth period, we're like, oh, okay, we'll head off now. We'll put the guitar back and we'll head off. And I go to return the guitar, and they're having an exam in the room that I need to return the guitar to. And I was like, maybe we'll just stay a bit longer. Because I can't exactly walk into their actual A-level exam and just like put down this guitar. So I sat, and I didn't want to leave it in the practice room because selfishly, there was only 2 left-hand players in the whole school, and I knew if that guitar got broken any more than it already was, I wasn't. I didn't want to leave it in the practice rooms.
No, yeah.
So me and Tim just sat back down, and I started messing around with a couple of chords, and Tim just came up with these lyrics out of absolutely nowhere. And then we went, oh, actually, that's really good. Write that down. And then it took us a little while to actually like finish the song, and then I reharmonized it. I wrote it up in a different key. Here, hang on.
Oh, exciting! We're about to get a playthrough.
I don't know how well this is going to come through the phone, but
this is a sneak preview.
Sneak preview of a song that like 3 people have ever heard. But originally it was it went up here. That's where I originally wrote it, and then what I was doing is I was playing a G chord wrong,
right?
Because I was an idiot child. So when I went back to replay it later on, I was playing it correctly, but now it sounded completely different. It goes instead, and I was like, no. So I just went to myself, right, what were the chords then originally? It was a major 7 to a 1. So I just... And then, built it from there. And
very nice.
Chorus goes...
Oh, I like that.
I know.
Yeah.
then so on.
I like that little change down. The
That's such a beautiful change.
I like that.
It's I really like the chord, that general chord, and then it goes that chromatic move. It's so nice.
That is nice. I like that. Can't wait to hear it.
And yeah, it's actually I really like it. I would sing it to you, but my voice isn't great today. But it's also got a harmonica on it because I just went, screw it, I'm gonna make it as weird as possible.
Why not? Add a harmonica here.
And yeah, I mean, I played that version because Tim originally only ever heard it as the original playing of it, and then I played him the now current version of it. And he went, oh, he practically did what you did on that. He was like, oh,
like that.
That sounds really good.
Yeah.
And yeah, it's really simple. It's like your first sort of 4 guitar chords that you learn, but if it's simple, it works.
If it works, it works, man. Yeah. No need to.
So,
as we've discussed before, no need to make it overly complicated for no reason.
Yeah, don't complicate your stuff if you don't need to. But yeah, I'm really proud of that song, and that came out of us putting ourselves in the music room and just writing whatever came to us.
Yeah, man.
There were other songs. There was one about cheese and Tim's love of cheese. That was a whole song.
he should be a drummer with that kind of weird songwriting.
Funnily enough, that is not a song we're looking to release.
I'm disappointed, man. I wanted to hear a song about cheese.
I can't even remember how it goes now. I don't know. I'll have to speak with him. I'm going to speak with him tomorrow, I think. So I'll speak with him and be like, "How does the cheese song go again?"
If we have a jam, you should bring Tim along just for fun. It might be nice.
He comes up with. The thing is, I always say Tim's a really good lyricist. He's a really good lyricist when he really works at it.
Oh,
like if he's got don't freeze. There we go. It's back.
Good.
There we go. Okay. He's a really good lyricist, but usually his lyrics aren't on topic of anything actually worth writing about. So the song about cheese is lyrically, considering he made it up on the spot, quite good, but
it's also
about cheese. So
is it overtly about cheese, or is like the word cheese used? Okay, well then maybe not. But I was going to say, if it was like really poetic and it could be talking about a woman, but you wouldn't know that it's actually about cheese. It's overtly about cheese.
It's overtly about cheese.
Like he probably rhymes brie with like tree, something like that.
There is, I think there is a line about brie in there.
Oh, fantastic! It's the best cheese, man. Brie, absolutely.
I can't remember how it goes, but yeah, the Tim Minchin song "Cheese" is actually a much better version about song about cheese than our song about cheese. But yeah, it's like random stuff like that where we just came up with stuff. But every so often there was a song like "In Another Life" where we just sat down and it just came out of nowhere and was like, oh, actually, that's really good.
That sounds good. Yeah.
And actually, we'll keep hold of that because. Yeah. So even though it's actually one of our oldest songs. As a group, because I think it would have been the second one we ever wrote. There you go.
Decent, fun little fact.
You will not hear it for a while, but it's the second one we wrote.
Oh man, I'm still waiting back to hear if our second single's been mixed yet. It's been a little bit nerve-wracking.
It is a slight issue. Is making. We've got one song picked out for the first single, and it's pretty much been like the song for the single since 2019, right?
Right.
This has been the song that we've been like. It was again one of our earlier ones. Originally, we had a different song we chose, and then this one came out, and we were like, we write this one, and Lloyd and I both sat down with it, and we went, yeah, no, that one's better. It's really simple. It's only like 3 chords throughout the whole song, but it's more fun. And the problem is making it sound really good. I was having a real hard time with it. So yeah, that's going to be a big problem once we get vocals down, is mixing and making sure everything sounds decent.
I mean, you could always send it away to get mixed. you know, to a sound
Yeah,
engineer?
that might cost a bit there. I think I can do it. I think you know, it is knowing the limitations we have. I think it's pretty good for what it is.
Mate, I think you've done incredibly well to work around your limitations, and where limitations are, I really feel like, just from talking to you about it, that's bred so much creativity. Because we were talking about not having drums, and then I listened to that song you sent me with the cajon, and it sounded amazing. Like, you didn't even need a full drum kit. It sounded so cool and acousticy, and like, I love that vibe that you captured there.
That's the only problem with, I would say, 2 songs that we have, is they really would benefit more from having a full drum kit than a cajon.
Yeah.
But like, looking at it, I've got the listings on here, right? There's 1, 2, you could maybe argue 3, 4 songs that could do with like a full drum kit out of the 12 that we've got hopefully coming out at some point. And then the rest of it works with a cajon. I mean, one of them doesn't even have percussion on it. It's just
straight up acoustic. Guitar. Yeah.
Because it's also a stupidly long song, but you know, it works.
Yeah.
I didn't
that's so sick,
that long, but yeah, it's, you know, you just got to work with what you've got, and
yeah, man.
I've tried adding keyboards into stuff because I want keyboards somewhere. So yeah, I'm hoping it's all going to turn out really well.
Man, I think you'd really get along with my brother when it comes to talking about recording and stuff, because he's been doing it for a couple of years now while he was at uni, and I think you'd get along with him a fair bit. Yeah. Sorry, that was just a weird tangent. I thought I'd just throw that out there. I was thinking we should get him on for a chat.
Brothers.
Yeah, it's weird that.
You know what? Actually, if he's up for it, bring him on. We need other people to come on occasionally.
Why not? But yeah, he might be a bit nepotistic because he's related to me, but who cares?
He is music related though, so it's not as bad.
Yeah.
But yeah, and as you say, I think our live sound, hopefully once we get an actual drummer in, because we've played a couple of these songs with drums on before, like a full drum kit, and they sound really good. Like there's a video of our song "Too Close for Comfort," which is the single that we're looking to release first.
Right.
And this guy we knew who played drums, he was in a band, so he didn't join us, but he played on it, and it's like a phone video, but it sounds so good with like a proper drum kit on it.
Yeah.
It's like practically there. The only thing it was missing at that time was the lead guitar, but now I've put lead guitar on it. You know, it's sounding good. It's just So I think live sound, will be pretty good.
Yeah, for
hopefully, sure. Once we've actually got rehearsed with
members. Yeah.
With actually,
yeah. It's a tricky. Oh man, it's a tricky one, isn't it? Navigating it all. It's like quite a heavy task. You know, in the beginning, music is just for fun, and it's like, but when you actually start to take it a bit more seriously, you realize it's quite an undertaking.
This is what I said this time last year. I was like, I don't want to be the one in charge of producing and recording. I just want to show up and play the bass and leave.
Yeah.
But now I'm the one in charge of all of that.
But I think it's a great attitude to have, where it's like, well, you know, no one else is going to do it for me. I'll do it myself.
I mean, I would like, and at some point I would like other people to record us, because that way I don't have to worry. But yeah, it is even down to the point that I've had to learn how to play lead guitar, which I've never considered myself a lead guitarist.
But you taught yourself.
Not even a particularly good rhythm guitarist, but like, you know, I was decent enough that I could hold a rhythm. But yeah, it is the fact that I had to go in and learn like different things, and I pick it up from piano as well, like certain scales. Okay, I know what notes go together, but it's just getting the right techniques and down and stuff.
It's that independent DIY spirit, man. It's that I'm going to learn how to do it, because I don't think, you know, sometimes you can't rely on other people to do something. Sometimes you have to teach yourself to do it. You know, you can't, maybe you can't rely on having another member of the band to play lead. So you teach yourself how to do it when you're recording. Like, it's the way I see it, it's important to learn how to do stuff yourself, because you can fall back on that, you know, if you have that skill. It's never bad to have another skill, you know.
Yeah, I mean, I think hopefully when people hear, particularly the second EP, because it's the one I'm working on most currently. But then once people hear the second EP, it's a lot more acoustic and a lot more of that sort of bedroom pop, bedroom kind of done it on my own production stuff.
Yeah.
The first one is as I say, it's got 2 songs on it that are a bit more rock.
Sure.
Maybe 3. They're a bit more rock than the others.
Yeah.
But even then, I think it's, you know, it still works. So yeah, I'm hoping. I'm excited for it.
Yeah, man. I just
need
hyped.
to get it. I just need to get it released.
Look at DistroKid. DistroKid is a really good distributor.
I was actually meant to ask you about that.
I
mean, how do I do it? Like, what's the process?
I think I'm honestly not too sure with how the whole DistroKid thing works, because George took charge with that when it came to releasing the song. But from what I understand, you keep all your revenue from it, and it's I think it's just a good service. I mean, it's been good for us. I mean, I think there's some sort of issue with like statistics and analysis when it's like, when you release something, it takes a certain amount of time before you can get sort of stats on how many listens and stuff you're getting. Well, maybe not many how many listens, but kind of the more intricate details. It takes a while for that information to like be given to DistroKid and then given to you. I'm not 100% sure, but it's quite cheap as well at the start.
Yeah, because that's our main problem is money.
I think it was like £3 each between us to like.
Yeah, okay.
It's like under a tenner, I think it was, to sign on, as it were, onto this thing. But yeah, honestly, DistroKid I recommend. Right, well, that is it. That is the end of the 16th episode of the Homegrown Music Podcast. Hope you've enjoyed. Hope you didn't mind the tangent about Lego, but we enjoyed it, so who cares? Who cares, really? I mean, I had a nice time. I don't care if anyone judges me.
Watch this be like the most important episode. Everyone views this one.
Everyone watches this and they're like, why are they talking about Lego? I thought this was a music channel. What the hell? Like, anyway, thank you for watching, and we'll see you next time. Bye.
Bye.